You weigh about 12 kilograms. That is less than most house cats. You are roughly the size of a small dog, built low to the ground, with short powerful legs and a body shaped like a wide, flattened torpedo. And right now, you are staring down a fully grown African rock python. It is 4 meters long. It outweighs you by a factor of 10. And you are not running. You never run. This is the honey badger's reality. Every single day. For roughly 11 million years, this animal has operated by a rule that almost nothing else in the natural world follows. There is no threat too large to confront, no venom too toxic to survive, no wound serious enough to stop forward movement. The honey badger, Mellivora capensis, is not the biggest predator on the African savanna or the Asian scrubland. It is not the fastest. It does not have the sharpest claws or the most powerful jaws. But wildlife biologists who have spent years observing it in the field consistently describe the same thing. It simply does not stop. So let us get inside that body. Let us think about what your life would actually look like if you were a honey badger. Because the biology here is stranger than almost anything you have seen in a nature documentary. Start with your skin. It is the first thing you need to understand, because it is the reason the python encounter does not end the way you might expect. Your skin is extraordinarily thick, roughly 6 millimeters at the neck and back, and it is famously loose. Not a little loose. Dramatically loose. A honey badger can rotate almost completely around inside its own skin. If a leopard bites down on the back of your neck, which is the killing move most big cats use on prey animals, you can turn your head 180 degrees and bite back. The leopard bites your skin. You bite the leopard's face. This is documented. This actually happens. Keith and Colleen Begg, who spent over a decade studying honey badgers across southern Africa for the Nyassa Carnivore Project, described watching a honey badger escape from a leopard using exactly this mechanism. The cat had every physical advantage. The honey badger escaped anyway, and the leopard retreated. Now add the venom problem. Because if your skin does not deter whatever is attacking you, there is another layer of defense. Your body processes venom in a way that researchers have been working to fully understand for years. In 2013, a team studying voltage-gated sodium channels, the molecular doorways through which snake venom typically disrupts an animal's nervous system and stops its heart, found a specific mutation in the honey badger's sodium channel receptor that appears to blunt the effect of alpha-neurotoxins, the class of toxin found in cobras and many other venomous snakes. What this means in practice is something striking. A cobra bite that would kill a small dog within minutes will drop a honey badger. It will lose consciousness. But in most documented cases, the animal recovers. It wakes up, sometimes within a few hours, and continues eating. There is field footage of this. A honey badger is bitten by a puff adder while hunting. It collapses. It lies completely still. And then, roughly 2 hours later, it gets up, finds the snake it was hunting before the bite, and finishes eating it. This is not anecdote. This is behavior that has been filmed and studied. So let us reconstruct a day in your life. You wake before dawn. You have been sleeping in a burrow, but not necessarily one you dug yourself. You may have taken a porcupine's abandoned den, or simply commandeered one from whatever animal was using it. You are not a social creature. You almost certainly slept alone. You emerge into the low light of an African morning, and immediately your nose goes to work. The honey badger has an extraordinarily well-developed sense of smell. You can detect a bee colony underground. You can smell a scorpion under a rock before you can see it. Within the first 10 minutes of your day, your nose leads you to a colony of African wild bees nesting inside a termite mound. Here is where another layer of your biology engages. You have thick skin, yes. But you have something else. Dense underfur that bees cannot easily sting through, and a behavioral response to bee stings that no one would describe as panic. You will endure hundreds of stings in a single foraging event. Researchers observing honey badger foraging behavior have recorded individuals sustaining over 100 bee stings in under 10 minutes without retreating. You dig into the colony. You eat the larvae, the honey, the comb itself. The bees that sting you are not meaningless. They hurt. You can see honey badgers flinching and shaking their heads. But the pain is not enough to stop you. Nothing is ever quite enough to stop you. By mid-morning you have moved on. Your home range, the territory you cover regularly, can stretch to over 500 square kilometers in open savanna. You cover enormous distances, sometimes up to 27 kilometers in a single day, according to tracking data from Begg and Begg's longitudinal research. You are walking almost constantly, nose down, body low, that wide muscular back rippling as you move. You find a rock monitor lizard, a large one. It is faster than you are in open ground. But you do not need to be fast. You simply need to be relentless. You pursue it, and the lizard, having no prepared escape, is eventually cornered. Your jaws generate enormous pressure for your size. Your claws, evolved for digging through termite mounds and hardened earth, go through lizard scales without difficulty. You eat. Now comes the python. It is resting in a dry riverbed, digesting its last meal. You smell it before you see it. And here is the thing about how your brain is wired. Where most animals process a threat signal and generate avoidance behavior, you appear to generate something closer to investigative behavior. Jonathan Kingdon, the zoologist who catalogued African mammals across decades of field research, described the honey badger as appearing to operate with what he called a fundamental inversion of normal predator-prey psychology. The python is a threat. You approach it anyway. The snake strikes. It coils. This is exactly when your loose skin and your jaw strength become your survival mechanism. You bite. You hold. The python, which relies on constriction and cannot constrict something that keeps biting its midsection, eventually releases. You are injured. You have puncture wounds. You will carry those marks for weeks. But you are eating the python by mid-afternoon. This is not exaggeration. Honey badgers have been documented killing and consuming black mambas, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. They have been documented raiding beehives inside trees, digging up buried eggs guarded by monitor lizards, stealing kills from jackals and even from young leopards. Bertram, who conducted behavioral studies of African carnivores for decades, noted that the honey badger's success rate in confrontations with much larger animals is disproportionate to what its body size would predict by any normal ecological metric. Why does this matter? Because the honey badger is not simply an interesting outlier. It is a demonstration of what happens when an animal's biology optimizes for persistence instead of speed, power, or size. Most successful predators are built around a single advantage. The cheetah is fast, the crocodile is armored, the lion is strong. The honey badger is built around something harder to define. An unwillingness to quit that is not metaphorical. It is written into its skin, its venom receptors, its pain response, and apparently its threat assessment system. Ecologists have noted that the honey badger's presence in an ecosystem has disproportionate effects on snake populations, beehive distribution, and the behavior of medium-sized predators who have learned to avoid it. An animal that weighs 12 kilograms should not reshape the behavior of leopards. But it does. By the time the sun is setting, you are back underground, injured, full, and completely indifferent to everything that tried to kill you today. Your wounds will heal faster than almost any comparably sized mammal. Your immune response is robust. Your sleep is deep and total. You weigh 12 kilograms. You are roughly the size of a small dog. And today, you ate a snake that could have swallowed a gazelle, raided a beehive defended by thousands of insects, and walked away from a leopard. Not because you were the strongest animal in the landscape, but because you treated every obstacle the same way, as something to go through, not around. That, it turns out, is the most durable survival strategy the natural world has ever produced.